think I'm live. There I am. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm using technology that's telling me I'm live. Give me a moment. Dr. Brick here. I'm going to go live over on Instagram. There we go. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Hang on here. I'm just going to do a little screen thing there. And there we go. Okay. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Wednesday, December 18th. I am wearing my little Where's Waldo hat today. Um, so I'm just going to also make sure there's somebody in my world, Jocelyn Flowers, who makes sure that this is actually working. So she says she's on the platforms and we'll see if this is working. So it is Wednesday, December 18th. Happy holiday to you and yours. Dr. Rick Tamlin here. And yeah, I'm wearing my silly Where's Waldo Christmas hat. And just for fun. It's also a little bit cold in my office, so I thought I would wear it today. Okay, so I'm going to get right to it. I wanted to share this idea that the concept of our imaginations, right? We all have the ability to imagine, right? So yesterday I was chatting with a very successful client, and they're in the process of finishing up this major book project. It has illustrations. It's a story. It's going to be both for kids and families and teenagers and high school kids. It has that. It's a book that's in that territory of life lessons kind of thing. And but why I'm talking about it in terms of imagination is this book, this project. Let's call it a project, but in this case, it's a book form. Took on a life of its own. It already has. It has, the concept here is that the project, the big dream, the big difference, the desire to get this message into the world from this client is designing her life right now. And it's animated and activated, and it's got her creativity. It's got her, and what I mean by got her, it's designing her, right? It's having her go get help on marketing. It's this classic idea, and this is jargon from my world. I wrote a book called Play Your Bigger Game. When a bigger game has you, and what I mean by has you, it's designing you, right? You have to do things for it, but imagine that this project, this calling, this book, and in this case it's a book, or whether it's a movie, or whether it's a business you want to start, or whatever the thing is, right? It's grabbed your imagination and it starts to animate and activate and have us learn and excel and ask for help and invest in things and do things that we normally wouldn't do, right? Playing a bigger game will design who you want to become. That's the sentence that came with the Bigger Game Workshop and the Bigger Game book for years and years and years. So hello, Mayra. I think it's Mayra or Myra. Welcome on Instagram. So there's it's a pretty simple concept, but the distinction I want to offer here is most people, I'm going to genericize that, many people sort of are doing life from a logistical, yeah, good morning, hi. I'm seeing, by the way, the comments on my, I have a new software package doing this these days. It's called Ecamm, and it's pretty cool. I'm able to see comments, and I can see myself. I can't see all of you watching, but I can see what's happening in terms of people responding. Going to the next level with the tech, people. Going to the next level. I've invested in Ecamm, really cool software package. So the distinction I wanted to offer is most people, or right, the public, if you will, most get through life. They sort of handle the circumstances as the circumstances arise, right? And the concept of finding a bigger game or a big project or something that's outside of the norm of survival is as I've said for many years, is not for the faint of heart, because there's risk involved. There's tasks that are beyond my wildest imagination. I have to go to the next level of learning something. I have to go to the next level of believing in myself. I have to go into the next level of my consciousness. I have to go into the next level of investment. Maybe the whole game goes up, right? It's like a person who says they want to be in the Olympics. It's like the person who says, I want to win. I'm a tennis guy. So the person who says, I want to win Wimbledon, or right. They've made these decisions that this thing will be, this is who I will be. And this will be in the world, you know, based on my own desire to have this be in the world. I mean, I come out of the entertainment industry, people who make movies, people who write Broadway musicals. We see these people and they are up to something, you know, bigger than they even know how to do, right? And I just invite you to consider that over this holiday season, right? As you go into 2025, what do you want your 2025 to be about? That's the classic sort of life coachy question. You know, I want my 2025 to be about this, but also, what's the big project? What's the big game? Um, what's the thing, and I'm going to call it a project for now. You know, in my language, you could say, what's the bigger game? That's the book I wrote. But it, what's the project? And I don't mean like cleaning out closets in your house. I mean something that's going to grab your imagination, and you can't even imagine. You can barely imagine it being made real. Like, I have one in the back of my mind. First of all, there's a second book that is now in the hopper, right? Second book going to happen in 2025. It's already been written. It's sitting there. I won't go into the details, but it's time to get this into the world. So that for me is an example of not a bigger game. It's already a game that's being played. But the other one that sits in my head is like, I want to make a movie. Now, I don't even know how to make a movie. I've never made a movie. I don't have the funding to make it, like all the millions of reasons, right? But it kind of sits over there in my head, right? And so over this holiday, in the downtime, right? There'll be downtime. I invite you to reflect. Do a little bit more reflection versus just consumption. There'll be a lot of consumption, right? A lot of consuming of food. There'll be a lot of consuming of content. Many of us will spend hours and hours on this thing, you know, watching other people's content, watching videos, watching movies. That's all lovely. That's all on the receiving end. But I invite you to consider, you know, if I were to flip it and turn myself into a creator, not just a consumer, what is it I want to create in 2025, right? Big project wise, whether that's a book or your own company, or it's time to triple your company size or whatever it is. And let your, you know, all you have to do is decide. That's the other thing. All you have to do is decide. And knowing how is usually the problem. People, well, I don't know how, and that seems like it's going to take a lot of work, and then we just shut it all down, right? And I'm a guy that comes along and I work with people and say, are you kidding me? This needs to happen. This wants to happen. We're going to make this happen. And you're going to learn and you're going to grow and we're going to do this together. And right, as a coach and a trainer and a speaker, that's my business, is to remind people of the capacity, to the creativity that lives inside of them about what they want to create with their lives, right? And that's the part I'm asking you to consider over this holiday season. What is it that you want to create in 2025 that would sort of, I keep saying sort of, I wish I didn't say that, that will design your year like never before. Going back to my client, right? This book has been in the psychological hopper for a number of years. Then last year, right, helped her hire the right people. We don't go into the details, but now it's, you know, it's going to be published at the beginning of this year in 2025. And it has raised the bar of creativity, engagement with life, engagement with friends. She's doing public speaking events about it now. She's booking libraries. She's booking, right? It's because with the book comes the speaking tour, right? So that's the part I'm asking you to consider. And for a guy that wrote a book called Play Your Bigger Game, what's your bigger game in 2025? Like, no kidding, rather than I'm just going to, sort of motor through and I hope my year is okay. Because what I want for you is your year to be designed by something that's bigger than you know how to do and will take you into pull you outside of your comfort zones, have you feel so engaged that you can't imagine life without this thing, right? Because here's what happens when you start to do things like this, then you want to do the next one. Then you want to do the next one. Think about a movie director or a movie producer or a Broadway director or like they're always like, okay, next, 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 next. That's the business they're in, is this creativity runway, right? What's the next plane that I want to have take off? So there you go. Happy holidays. I invite you to be in that conversation with yourself and journal about it and sit down and be quiet and go for walks and maybe talk to somebody. Let yourself talk to people about this big dream thing. Because if you don't talk about it, closeted dreams don't become real, by the way. Closeted dreams become disappointments, right? So with that said, the other thing that I'm doing in the beginning of 2025, I've always wanted to do this, speaking of a bigger game, is to do an abundance class. I have been fascinated by the abundance topic for years. I've studied the consciousness of abundance. Where does money come from? How do we create it? It's all made up. There's all kinds of things we're going to do. But I'm doing a 6-week class, and it begins on January 23rd. The link has been dropped in various places here on the platform you're watching this on. And you can find the link in my bio, right? Or if you're on Facebook, you can see the link. You can just click below, and right, it'll take you to the registration page. Because here's the thing: I'm going to connect the dot of that class to what I've been talking about today about something that designs you. Is most of the time we will use the two reasons why we won't go for it are time and money. Time and money. I don't have time to do that, and I don't have enough money to make that happen. And so in this abundance class, we're going to talk about both time and money, because they're the number one and two, or one is, it's either time or money, in whatever order it is for you. Just think about it. I don't have time for that. I can't get that into my life. I can't afford to make that happen in my life, right? Either of those two things are happening all the time. And how do I know this? I used to do a ton of corporate training, and the number one reason that people didn't want to invest in something or go to the next level or whatever, or invest in something for their people, is they didn't have enough time and they didn't have enough money, right? We don't have the budget for that, and right. So we're going to uncork that in this 6-week class, and we're going to not just talk about the consciousness of abundance, but we're also going to talk about the granular doing of earning money, right? Yeah. So uncertainty gets me. Exactly, Mayra. Thank you for commenting there. Is the only way to handle uncertainty is action, because you're waiting to be certain, and certainty actually has to come from the action of going for it. It's like we're waiting to be certain, and we're waiting to be confident, and we're waiting to be clear, and we're waiting to know what it is, and you have to go before you know. You have to go before you know, and you have to be willing to, quote unquote, not succeed at it right away. I mean, we all know the stories of people who we admire in the world. We all know. I know I refer to this guy a lot. I mean, this is the iPhone, Steve Jobs, as we know the story that he went through of the success and then the failure and then the being fired by his own company. I mean, right? And all of us are trying to avoid all of that. I don't want any of that ever to happen to me. Well, here's how you don't have any of that happen to you. You just don't do anything. You kind of live at this level. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to be really clear. But most of us don't want to go for it because what if, right? Now, as I get older, and I'll finish it out with this concept. My dad has since passed, right, many years ago. But before he passed, he reminded me of his disappointment, of his life. He didn't go for it. He literally said, Rick, I didn't go for it in my life. Make sure you do. Whatever go for it means. He said, I loved my life most of the time. I provided as a dad for you kids. There were three boys, right? He's a great dad, right? And there was this other part of him that had to express and be in the world, and he really wanted to be an actor as well, and he wanted to be on stage, and he wanted so probably I'm living out my dad's fantasy, but not really an actor anymore, but I'm certainly on lots of stages. um, his voice rings in my head. When you get to the end of your life, you don't want the regret of, well, I didn't go for it because I wasn't certain, and I didn't go for it because I didn't have confidence, and then we sit in regret. Then we sit in a space of disappointment in ourselves, right? So there's the deal. There's the class information. Go register. We have a number of people registered from around the globe. Deep dive. We're going to use a book called A Pocket Full of Money as the reference point. You don't have to have the book, but I'm going to sort of be leaning into it with some cool phrases and some great concepts that are new to me. It's called A Happy Pocket Full of Money is the name of the book. Don't have to have it. We're not going to just do a book report, but I am going to use it as a bit of a backbone. So that starts on January 23rd. Let's do the deep dive together on the money conversation, because your relationship with money and your relationship with abundance is designing your life right now. And we are also going to add to the mix what are you really up to in 2025? What's the bigger game you're playing that will actually generate the money that you're looking for? So we're gonna have it be strategic and tactical, not just mindset stuff. Okay. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Wednesday the 18th, I'm off to lead a book club call for about 100 people, which I'm very excited about to do today, as well as clients. Have a great rest of your day. Have a beautiful holiday. You're welcome. You're welcome, Myra. I think it's Mayra. I hope Mayra or Myra. I'm assuming I'm close. Thanks for watching today and for being open to this brief moment of hopefully some inspiration and some information about moving your life forward in the direction that you want. Because if you can, it's going to be a cliche ending line, but if you have the dream, it wouldn't have come to you if you didn't have the ability to make it real, right? See, dreams come to people for the thing they want to do in their life. And of course, I believe that you wouldn't have the dream, if you didn't have the ability to make it real. Why would it come to you? Like, why would this dream choose you if it didn't believe in you? Because the dreams actually, I believe, come to you, right? They come from something outside of self. They come from inside you in your mind, but they're floating around and, oh, I want to do this. And if it comes to you, the dream has decided that you have the ability to make it real. Let's leave on that note. So, all right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you on the class. January 23rd, register below, go to my bio. You know how to do it here on all these platforms. If you have any questions, you can email me direct at rick@itsallmadeup.com. Jocelyn, maybe you can put my email address in. It's going to be all in my bio there. So to way to contact me if you have any questions, or you want some support on deciding if this class is right for you. So, all right, everybody, happy holidays. Sending you all peace, ease, love, health, and wealth to you and yours, your organizations, your teams, your countries, and of course our globe as a whole. So, blessings, everybody. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Wish me luck on turning off all the buttons.